Welcome to our first non-fantasy basketball podcast. Today we'll be discussing a few segments and we'll be showing you some mock trades and we are going to see what each of us think about it. You can leave any comments or suggestions below and make sure to email us. Our email will be in the description. This is Steal or No Deal. In this segment, we will have a trade between two teams and we will look at each team's perspective and discuss if it benefits them or not. Our first trade is between the Detroit Pistons and the 76ers. The Detroit Pistons are giving up Derrick Rose, and in return they are getting Furkan Korkmaz, Terrence Ferguson, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. So Sky, what do you think about this trade for the 76ers?
Derrick Rose is definitely not in his prime anymore after his injury, but he is still a very solid player, and he's a great ball handler. And the 76ers have many young players, so I think it's a great trade for both teams.
Daniel, what do you think?
Detroit Pistons don't really need to keep Derrick Rose, and the Sixers could really use him, and I think the Pistons are getting a solid package in return, so I do believe this trade gets done.
Yeah, I think that the 76ers do have Ben Simmons, but I think the offense would flow better if he didn't have the point guard all the time because, he doesn't shoot a lot and his shot is not that good. Moving on, we have a trade between the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Raptors give up Aaron Baines, Patrick McCaw, OG Anunoby, Terrence Davis, Matt Thomas, a second-round pick, a first-round pick, and another first-round pick. So they're giving up a lot, but in return they get Andre Drummond, Damian Dotson, Dylan Windler, and a second-round pick. So Sky, we'll start off with you again. What do you think about this trade for the Raptors?
From the Raptors' perspective, they are giving up a lot of players, but they are receiving a very young and good center in Andre Drummond. He gets lots of rebounds, and the Cavaliers will have a lot of cap space, and I think from the Raptors' view, it would be a good trade.
Yeah, okay, so Daniel, what do you think?
I feel like this is a good idea, trying to trade away Andre Drummond since the Cavaliers just got Jared Allen and they have lots of big men on their team, but I don't think this trade gets done because the salaries don't match up that well, but I like the idea of trading Drummond away.
Yeah, I think they're giving up too much. I think OG Anunoby has a lot of potential, and they're giving up 2 first-round picks for basically Drummond. And Drummond's on a 1-year contract, so you don't know if he's going to come back the next year. Okay, so with the next trade, we have the Toronto Raptors again and the Philadelphia 76ers again. The Raptors will be sending Kyle Lowry, DeAndre Bembry, and Terrence Davis in return for Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, and a first-round pick. So, Sky, what do you think of this trade for the 76ers?
Well, for both teams, I do not think this is a good trade at all because I don't think the Raptors would want to give away their all-star and Kyle Lowry, and they just signed DeAndre Bembry, and I don't think the 76ers would want to trade Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey. They just drafted them, and they also just signed Danny Green.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Daniel, what do you think?
Like we said earlier, the Sixers could really use a true point guard like Kyle Lowry, but I think the Raptors believe that they can compete for a championship, and trading like Kyle Lowry and getting back young players, even though they have lots of potential, is not going to be worth it right now.
Okay, I kind of disagree with you. I think that the Raptors have a good future with OG Anunoby being young, Fred VanVleet only being 26, and Pascal Siakam being young. So, and in return, they get Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey in a first. So Tyrese Maxey, I think, would fit in very well with OG, Pascal, and Fred. And I think in the future, if they get this trade done, they're going to be very dominant.
Yeah, you have a point there, since also Chris Boucher is still developing.
Yeah, he's been very good this season.
Our next segment is Lock 'em or Block 'em. In this segment, we will have a team selected, and if there were to be an expansion draft, what 8 players would they lock in and block out? For those of you that don't know what an expansion draft is, it's where if the NBA decides to add another team to determine what players they get, each team can pick 8 players to protect, and the rest of their team is up for grabs. This week's team will be the Lakers. Alright, so let's get rid of the obvious ones in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. What other players do you think should they lock?
They'll definitely keep Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, and I think Kyle Kuzma is a solid part of their rotation too.
Ethan, who else do you think they should keep?
This might not be a popular opinion, but I think Talen Horton-Tucker should stay because he's very young and he's shown a lot of potential. So I think he would be good for the future if LeBron decides to retire, and him and AD would be a pretty good duo.
Yeah, he has lots of potential. I don't think Caruso is a must keep, but I believe Marc Gasol, since they need a center too, and I think KCP should be kept too.
In my opinion, I don't think Marc Gasol should be here because I feel like he's going to retire soon, and he's not going to be very valuable. And I think they would rather keep Alex Caruso because he's younger, only 26 years old, and he can still get better.
Yeah, I agree with that. So for our 8 players to lock, we have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Caruso, and Talen Horton-Tucker.
And I'm going to add something. If there were to be an expansion draft, there would be 2 extra teams. What 2 cities do you think would get a team?
You know, the NBA actually tweeted something that there could possibly be an expansion draft, and they were talking about a team coming back to Seattle and also one in Louisiana.
I think Seattle would be very good because I think they are a better city for a lot of... I think they're better than a lot of NBA teams like Oklahoma City. Like, I think Seattle's more well-known, you know?
Yeah, I also think Las Vegas is a real possibility, as well as Kansas City, since their sports are, like, going up with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Hawaii. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so do you guys have anything to say?
How do you guys think that James Harden did in his NBA debut?
He had a triple-double. It was great chemistry with Kevin Durant. It's still a question mark about Kyrie and when he returns, but I like what I saw so far.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy going on that Kyrie didn't play the last couple of games because he wanted to lower his trade value so he wouldn't get traded in the James Harden trade. What do you guys think about that?
With Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie definitely is the worst out of those 3, so I would understand that he wouldn't want to get traded as he just got to the Nets last season, so that makes lots of sense, but it also does not benefit the team because he's such a big player and helps them a lot.
Yeah, like
Daniel, what do you think?
The season before this, like Kyrie and KD, they had like lots of talks and they wanted to play together, so I don't think that's gonna change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we also have some injury news. Karis LeVert, they found something in his kidney. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. They said that he could have a possible tumor, and for a tumor to go away, it could take anywhere from 18 months. So I think the Pacers definitely lost on this trade and giving away a valuable player in Victor Oladipo, but with Karis LeVert coming back, possibly, they could be good in the future.
Yeah, and I think this raises Malcolm Brogdon's value a ton because it's basically only going to be him, and Justin Holiday will get some more minutes, and when Jeremy
he's,
Lamb
like,
returns.
the only, legit guard who's pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe we could see Aaron Holiday jump into the rotation in the starting lineup. I don't know. What do you guys think about who's going to start in place?
There's definitely going to be a lot of new players coming in for the Pacers in the Holiday brothers. We have Doug McDermott and TJ McConnell. But right now, I think it's mainly going to be Brogdon, Miles Turner, and Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, my projected starting lineup for the Pacers would be Malcolm Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, Justin Holiday, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner.
Yeah. So before we finish, we are going to discuss the James Harden trade. Who do you think are some teams that won in the trade, and who are teams that lost?
I believe the Cavaliers won in their trade because they got a very good rim projector and Jared Allen, and Taurean Prince is a good veteran presence, and they didn't give up much for that.
Yeah, who did the Cavaliers actually give up?
They gave up a first-round pick and Dante Exum.
Oh, yeah. I remember Dante Exum. The Jazz traded up so high for him, and he ended up being a bust. So I think the Cavaliers definitely won out of this 4-team trade.
I think that the Pacers, they would have won the trade if they didn't find out about Karis LeVert's injury, because he's very young. He's going to fit nicely next to Malcolm Brogdon in the future. And his value goes down after that injury because he could be out for a year and a half, you know?
Yeah, but at least they got a second round pick too. I also think the Rockets won this trade because they got a lot more than most people were expecting back for Harden. A bunch of pick swaps, and good players, and Oladipo, and Dante Exum.
I feel like if they were going for the future, a good trade partner would have been the Denver Nuggets. They would have probably received Michael Porter, Gary Harris, Bobo, and probably 4 or 5 first-round picks. That would be very good for the future.
I like that trade destination for Harden, but too bad it didn't happen.
I think that could be a possibility for maybe Bradley Beal if something happens between him and Westbrook. Before we wrap it up, we're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets side of the trade. So what do you guys think about it?
Kyrie is definitely ought to be the third option, but I don't think he's willing to. I believe that KD will be the one to step down, but probably not too, because he is by far the best out of these three.
Yeah, so
one player would have to let their usage go down a little for it to for them to play good together. So that's a problem.
Do you think a Kyrie trade could happen?
Who do you think they would receive for Kyrie if they were to do the trade?
I think they would go for someone like a power forward. I know this is out of the blue, but Julius Randle would be nice, and other people. Julius Randle, maybe a lot of picks. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that trade?
I feel like the Knicks don't really need Kyrie right now, as they have Elfrid Payton and RJ Barrett. I feel like the Knicks are a really solid team, so I'm not sure if that trade would work.
I believe that if Kyrie were to be traded, the Pelicans would be a good destination. The Nets will get back a bunch with maybe Eric Bledsoe, Jackson Hayes, and first-round picks.
I think Lonzo Ball would be a good fit because he's a good ball handler. He could play a little bit off ball. He could play good defense.
Yeah, and it would pair Kyrie with Ingram and Williamson, which is really good which is great for the Pelicans.
Yeah, that would be very deadly. Imagine Kyrie stepping back, hitting threes, and then throwing lobs to Zion. I would enjoy that.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
James Harden is definitely enjoying his new team, as in his first game on the Nets, he was really enjoying it, and he put up some good points. And he's been on the Rockets for the past decade, and the Rockets have always tried to build a team around him, but it's never worked. So I think by giving up James Harden, the Rockets could definitely get better. And with James Harden not wanting to play for the Rockets anymore, the Nets are going to do way better too. So I think the Rockets and Nets both did a really good trade.
Yeah, okay. So I think that'll be it for us. We'll possibly see you guys on Monday for the daily recap video. And thank you for watching.
We're gonna try start that series up pretty soon. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, make sure to hit the like button because it knows that you guys enjoy these videos and we can continue making these kinds of videos. You guys have anything else to say?
And share this with your friends so if you like our content.
Yeah, make sure to go subscribe, and if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to put them down in the comments.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.